Welcome to the Civic Hub. The Civic Hub is a shared community space for grassroots and small nonprofit organizations working to make lives better for everyone in Waterloo Region. Partner organizations come from a range of fields: environmental justice, democratic reform, arts and culture, anti-poverty, anti-racism, human rights, ethno-cultural and newcomer support, technology, peace and nonviolence, spirituality, and well-being. On the show, we welcome one of our partners to the Civic Hub. Today on Welcome to the Civic Hub, we have Myron Steinman in the studio with us of Initiatives
For Support.
Initiatives for Support. Should have read that before he started the show. Myron, welcome to the Civic Hub.
Thank you, Bob.
So, Initiatives for Support is a fairly new organization. I haven't heard of it before, obviously. Can you tell me what it is?
Yes, it's a very new program, and it may be a very short-lived program, or maybe not. We'll see. Well, first of all, I want to say that in 1980, my life was turned upside down when, over the Christmas holidays, in my second year of university, I ended up in a psychiatric hospital. And so my life has turned completely different direction. And
How did it change?
Well, in 1993, I got a paid position working in community mental health. But let's jump up to 2023.
Okay.
In 2023, I received a grant from the Region of Waterloo Municipality of $34,000 to provide a program to people who self-identify as having a disability, including mental health concerns.
Okay, so you say self-identify. That means that there's no organization doing means testing or evaluation?
No, that's correct.
Okay. And the self-help is a group that you formed then 2 years ago, a year ago.
Yes, I worked with staff at the Family Center, and I worked for Peer Support Waterloo Region, and I worked with some of the upstream staff to gain confidence to put forth this proposal to provide one-to-one peer coaching along with a group meeting where people could learn leadership and facilitation skills and learn to function in a group. So people share things one-to-one, which they do not share, they may not feel comfortable sharing in a group. And in a group, they share things and get support from others.
Mm-hmm. And in this particular case, you've got the peer group, and are there any professional people providing support as well?
I've worked in community mental health since 1993. I've worked for a number of community organizations, including self-help, including a program that went to London Psychiatric Hospital with the closure of London Psychiatric Hospital, including Thresholds Homes and Support, the housing agency, and including what was called Opportunities Housing. I have an advisory team which has people who have worked in a professional capacity for some time. I worked with one of my members of my advisory team has worked with long-term health for many, many years. She worked with CMHA before they had paid community workers. One of my persons that I work for works with Bridges to Belonging, and another of my advisory team had a private consulting business. And then I also have someone from my program participants on my advisory team as well.
Right. And so some of these people are getting paid through your through the grant that you received.
No, no one on my advisory team gets paid.
Oh.
I received $34,000. Of that money, about half of it goes to my program participants,
Okay.
which is about 9 people at a time. They receive a $200 stipend a month to participate in a group and participate in one-to-one peer coaching and to get involved in the community.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I also receive just under $1,000 for my services.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. It's sort of turning the whole idea of peer support, of group therapy on its head, where most people would have to pay to acquire those services.
Yes, that is one of the things that's very unique about my program. There is a program called Passport Funding. It provides funding for people with a mental challenge, but to my knowledge, it doesn't provide funding for them. It provides money to provide services to them. This provides money directly to people who are living on, as a single person, less than $1,200 a month.
Right.
So this provides an additional $200 a month, which $1,400 a month. $1,400 a month is not very much, but I think $200 a month stipend is and was appreciated by the people that I supported.
And it provides an incentive for people to continue to attend your sessions.
It definitely provides an incentive for them to continue. My people are a very small group of people, although I was trying to also look through them as systemic issues. But the focus was on the small group. And some of the people got a lot out of the one-to-one. Some of the people got a lot out of the group. I was surprised how people got a lot out of the group.
Okay, I guess different people.
And some of the people got a lot, some of the people said they got a lot out of both, and everybody appreciated that extra $200 a month.
I'll bet, yeah. You have a fair bit of history in providing peer support. I mean, you started in 1993. Can you take me through the different places you've been?
Yes, I started as a junior partner. I was development worker with peer support, which was then called Water Region Self-Help for Psychiatric Consumer Survivors. It was a program that was a number of consumer survivor development initiatives that were started with the Bob Rae government when the NDP government got in by surprise.
Yeah.
He diverted a small portion of the health budget towards these consumer survivor development initiatives. So I was a junior partner there where I provided, at that time, there was not a lot out there, so you could do a lot without much training. So I led peer support groups. I helped train peer support groups. I provided a calendar of affordable events, and I also was a delegate from Water Region Self-Help to community events. That's not possible at the level of training that I had at that time anymore.
Yeah. Things have become more stringent. Is that a good thing?
It's good and bad. It's
I guess in some cases it denies people access to services because there just aren't enough people providing services with the extra qualifications that you need to have nowadays.
There is with the extra qualifications that are required, it is you need a lot of extra qualifications to do anything right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got that through the experience that you've picked up in the last 30 years or so.
I got that through lived experience. I also, when the psychiatric hospitals were closing, the hospital sent out a program at Conestoga College.
Okay.
And so there was 3 of us with mental health issues that were allowed to participate. And so 2 of us graduated from with a community certificate program from Conestoga College.
Okay.
And then I did go back to university once I got a secure income and a secure place to live, and completed my diploma of social work from Renison College, and then eventually completed my degree.
Okay. And so now you're able to run a peer support group with those qualifications.
Yes, I have academic qualifications as well as lived experience qualifications.
So what happened in 2023 that made you decide to pursue this? You found the need wasn't being addressed in the community by other organizations?
Well, that too. I got involved with this through. There used to be a program that Region Waterloo had called Wellbeing Waterloo Region.
Okay, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago. And I participated in that program as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
And as an individual, there was 2 or 3 of us as an individual that weren't part of an organization. And the people that were part of an organization got paid to go from their organization. 2 or 3 of us got a stipend. And so that was one of the ideas that started this, was of paying a stipend. That was one of the seeds of this idea
Okay.
of providing a stipend to help people participate in a group.
Right. Because otherwise it becomes
And-
just an additional burden on people's time.
It may not be a burden on people's time, but it is very difficult to do without a secure income.
Right.
And so my focus was on, my goal was to evaluate poverty, but it was to look at 3 ways. I identified 3 ways to alleviate poverty. One, of course, is housing. That wasn't the one I was looking at. I was looking at income, secure employment,
Mm-hmm.
and a meaningful lifestyle as a way to get out of poverty.
Okay, and this is being addressed by your peer support group through the stipend, but also through some of the work that you're doing with the individuals.
Yes. Many of the people I were involved with were
The people that you were involved with came to you how? How did people discover that you were holding a peer support session?
well, it was very difficult as an individual to get some credibility.
Yeah.
So I did go to Kitchener Outpatient Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to the top staff there. I talked to
That's at Grand River Hospital?
Grand River Hospital.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
talked to Ray of Hope.
Okay.
And I didn't get any bites there. No one was interested in my program. They didn't know who I was.
Yeah, just coming up there and asking to see outpatients is probably not...
And, and trying to explain what my program was
Right.
just didn't pull any weight.
Right.
So I did go to self-help, and I did go to Threshold Homes and Supports, which
Okay.
which is Water Regional Homes for Mental Health. And out of that, I got some people for my program.
Okay.
I also was involved with the Civic Hub area,
Okay.
and I presented this at a meeting of Alive Poverty Professors, and got a lot of good people from the Live Poverty Professors as well.
Okay. So you're getting referrals from other organizations as well as through the Civic Hub.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you said there was these other 2 programs. There must have been other support programs in Waterloo Region that have existed in the past and that may still exist today. And you've had some involvement in those as well. And can you tell me a bit about the other organizations that have existed in the past?
Well, the organizations that I've been involved with continue to exist today.
They still do? Okay. I thought a lot of them had shut down.
Well, one of them hasn't. I participated in a program called Lutherwood ACE. It was a self-employment program,
Okay.
and to my knowledge, it doesn't continue today. There is
Okay.
employment supports provided for. There isn't programs provided so much with people with mental health issues that are living in low income.
Right.
It is necessary to do a lot of market research ahead of time, and that is not easy to do. I've had my own problems with doing market research, and it's not easy to get an identity.
Yeah, becoming established in this community is going to take a bit of work. I think you've got a good start in that, and that you've got the group going, and you've had some referrals from 2 or 3 programs.
Yes, this group has got going, and it's done a lot of good things. People have, one person is moving from CPP disability to ODSP disability, hopefully, but by getting a job. One
Okay.
person is had difficulty getting out of the house and got not only going out of the house, but got started with some volunteer work. One person was a very good peer worker, but was, I think, procrastinating getting her accreditation with Peer Support Canada.
Yeah.
And so she finally did that jump and paid the fees to get her accreditation with Peer Support Canada.
So those are all success stories.
Yes, they're success stories, but in some ways they're like our guaranteed annual income with the Liberal government, with Kathleen Wynne.
Yeah,
When the funding ends, the program is very difficult to continue, and
Yeah.
I did not get funding for a second year.
Oh.
Now, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
There was $4.1 million available, and there was $26 million in requests for funding.
Oh.
So,
I can see that they would want to allocate those funds to different organizations from year to year, which is unfortunate for your group.
it's unfortunate for a lot of groups because you just get started in something, and then it's difficult to figure out how to move forward from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. So you have funding now until the end of the year?
I have funding. My funding has ended.
Oh, so that means that after this session is complete, there won't be any future sessions planned.
I am continuing to meet with some of the participants.
Okay.
One person is agreed to pay me a little bit to
Oh.
meet with her.
Well,
So
a more traditional way of allocating funds.
yes, and
How have you been meeting? Are you meeting at the Civic Hub?
we have been had our group meetings at the Civic Hub.
Okay. It's a good space for it?
It is a good space and it is a bad space. It is a very good space in that it is very centrally located.
Mm-hmm.
It is right off the ion. It is a bad space in that it is
I can see that it's pretty busy
it's a very
there.
busy area. Yes, it's a very busy space
That's
area, and so there's a concern for safety. There's a concern for being interrupted by other groups.
Oh yeah, I can see that. How do you mean there's a concern for safety? What are the safety issues that you find?
Well, there is a few groups that have greater stigma than people with mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
One of those groups is people with addictions.
Mm-hmm.
One of those groups are people who are attracted to children.
Right.
And so that area is
There are people in the area, and you're speaking here of the area in the city, not the Civic Hub specifically, that may not be understanding of the group that you're working with.
no, they are not necessarily. They're understanding. It is just a matter of a. It's a matter of a.
It's a matter of overcoming that perception of lack of safety for your participants. And I'll bet there's some education for the other people in the area as well.
Yes, that is a fairly safe area. We held a conference, a workshop there, and at the end of the workshop, I came up, and within minutes, there was paramedics there was police there was fire trucks there was fire for one individual who had taken extra drugs and had the problem with
Right.
having a potential drug overdose. So that's actually a very safe area
So safe in that regard.
in regards
Yeah.
that there is supports very, very quickly.
I find in general that the Civic Hub is a safe space for groups on marginalized groups, where there's generally within the Civic Hub understanding of different groups, different ideas, different environments, different
Yes.
abilities. And so the Civic Hub seems to me a very good place to meet, if it weren't so busy, for a peer support group.
Well, when I held my workshop, which was there was a one-to-one peer support, and then there was the group work, and then there was a full conference with the wider disability community. And for the wider disability community, I went to St. John's Kitchen and found some people who, again, self-identified as having a disability, and including mental health issues, to participate in this workshop.
Right.
And St. John Kitchens meets in the upper level of St. John's Anglican Church. The Civic Hub meets in the lower level of St. John's Anglican Church. So it's a very
It's a convenient arrangement.
if you go to downtown Kitchener, which I have in recent years, everything is located very centrally.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true for Kitchener in many ways, too.
Yeah.
Everything is located very centrally.
So a lot of things are available just by walking to them. You don't have to have a car. And there's good transit throughout the corridor there as well.
Yes, the region tried to decentralize things by moving their social services building to Waterloo Region, but still Kitchener remains kind of the central area for people who have social service needs.
Right, right. So the funding's at an end. What would you recommend that people do if they see themselves as needing peer support services, the kind of services you're offering now? What can people do after the funding is over?
Well, there is CMHA self-help and peer support where you can get group support.
Mm-hmm.
There is
The CMHA is the Canadian Mental Health Association.
that's correct.
Yeah. And I think that they do have a hotline number for any sort of mental health issues that you might experience, whether you're looking to be admitted into a program or whether you're looking to talk to somebody for peer support.
Well, no.
No?
They do have a 24/7 line
Mm-hmm.
where you can call in and get referrals for emergency, but they no longer have a distress line to call in for if you have some needs. There is a
Okay.
distress line out of Guelph that you can call,
Right. And I guess there's the National Suicide Prevention Line.
and that is local in Waterloo Region.
Okay.
Yes, and
Okay.
there is I'm interested in working with adults, and
So when adults are looking for peer support, you'll still be around.
I'll still be around. I am.
So if somebody wants to contact you, maybe just to chat, probably the best way to get a hold of you is through the Civic Hub, I would think.
Yes, that would be right.
Yeah, so email to civichub@waterlooregion.org and ask to correspond with Myron Steinman, who has set up the Initiatives for Support program, which is actually coming to an end. So that's very sad.
I have a few visions of where it may continue, but they are still in the formulated stage. Everything is
Okay.
in the formulated stage.
How long did it take you to get set up with Initiatives for Support?
Well, the seed of this really happened in many ways when I was working for Water Region Homes for Mental Health. And I was working one-to-one as a peer worker, and I was working in being a facilitator with group recreational activities. I did a variety of activities with Water Region Homes for Mental Health, including working with the wellness team, and we provided, and this was really the seed of this idea, we provided teaching, training, and getting involved in the community as a way to get one's needs met.
So hopefully you'll come up with something and be able to continue that into the future. Myron Steinman from Initiatives for Support, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. And welcome to the Civic Hub. You've been listening to Welcome to the Civic Hub, where we welcome community partners to the Civic Hub. The Civic Hub is online at civichubwr.org. You can reach the Civic Hub by email at civichub@waterlooregion.org. Welcome to the Civic Hub is produced at the studios of CKMS-FM 102.7 Radio Waterloo. The show is sponsored by the Social Development Center of Waterloo Region. The executive producer is Alexander Petrovich. Ritika Sharmali is the producer and host. Technical production is by Anjali Sanderson, and I'm Bob Jonkman. Civic Hub is supported by the Region of Waterloo Upstream Fund. And the theme music is A Good Bass by Kumiku from the Free Music Archive, used under a CC0 license.